The phone rang at 7:30 and Sloan Bennett knew who it was. She set down her spatula and picked up. "Hi, Dad." Harold didn't waste time. "Tomorrow's the engagement party. You're not coming." Sloan leaned against the kitchen counter. 13 years and he still talked to her like she was 16. "Why?" "Because the last thing this family needs is you showing up and making a scene," he said. "Tyler's future in-laws will be there. I won't embarrass ourselves with you. Don't come." The line went dead. Sloan stared at her phone. The salmon behind her was starting to smoke. She turned off the burner and stood in the middle of her kitchen, doing nothing. Her condo in Lohi was quiet. Warm sand walls, modern furniture, no family photos, no keepsake. She'd bought it 4 years ago when Meridian Brand Group crossed 7 figures, and she'd furnished it the way she did everything, carefully, without emotional weight. She texted Dana. "My dad called." "Not invited to Tyler's engagement party," Dana replied 30 seconds later. "Still the same." Still the same. She poured a glass of wine and sat on the edge of the sofa, looking out at the Denver skyline. 13 years since Harold had stood in the foyer of his Aurora house and told her to pack her things. 19 years old, 1 suitcase, a bus stop in the rain. She'd built everything from nothing. 2 jobs, night classes, a laptop on credit, 47 cold emails to her first client. Meridian had started on a kitchen table in a $500 apartment. Now it had 18 employees and a corner office. None of it was ever enough for him. She'd made her peace with that mostly, but some days the old ache surfaced, sharp and spid. Her phone buzzed. "Dina, talk tomorrow." No arguments. Sloan smiled and drank. 3 days later, she walked into her office building lobby at 8:45, coffee in one hand, portfolio in. She nodded at Marcus, the security guard, and headed for the elevator. The doors slid open. Tyler Bennett was standing in. For half a second, she thought she was imagining. Then her brother's face read. Blonde hair combed back, navy blazer, the smirk he'd worn since he was. And her stomach. Tyler looked at her. Recognition followed by a. "Well, look who it is. What are you doing here, Sloan? Applying for a job?" The alarmed. Sloan gripped her cup. She'd rehearsed this moment 100 times. What to say, how she'd care. None of it prepared her for the actual sound of voice. The actual way he looked at her like she was something. Before she'd answer, a second figure stepped out from her. Bree Mercer, Sloan's account manager. 8 months at Meridian. Sharp, ambitious, brought homemade cookies to team meetings. She was holding her purse, clearly on her way to her. Bree, Tyler, Sloan, Tyler. Her. "Tyler," she said, voice tight. "We just say." Tyler laughed, easily oblivious. "Just asking my sister doing here. Probably a job interview, right? Economy's tough." Bree froze. Her mouth open and closed. Sloan could see his clicking, the way Tyler always referred to his sister vaguely as the fan disappointment. The way Sloan had mentioned a brother. 2 completely separate people in Bree's life. And again. "No," Bree said, above a whisper. "Tyler, no. She's not here for an interview." Tyler frowned. "Talking about." He looked at Sloan and passed between them. An apology, acknowledgement. The quiet shock of 2 women realizing they'd both been lying. "She's my boss," Bree said. Ty faltered. He looked at Bree, then at Sloan, then at the Meridian ID lanyard. His face something complicated. Confusion, disbelief, a flash of fear before anger. Eyes. She didn't smile. She didn't gloat. "Tyler," she said, "long time no see." Elevator doors slid shut. Tyler drove straight to his parents' house in Aurora. Harold looked up from his newspaper. "You're home early." "Dad, I just saw Sloan at her office building. She owns a company. Bree works for her. Bree's boss is Sloan." Harold set the paper down. "That doesn't make sense." "She dropped out of college. She owns a company, Dad. 18 employees. Corner office. Meridian Brand Group." Harold was quiet. Then, "She must have married someone with money. Or found some other way." "Dad, she's 32. She built this." Harold stood. "I don't care how. What I care about is she's in a position to affect your life. Bree works for her. That's leverage. She's been waiting 13 years to get back at her." Tyler wanted to say Sloan hadn't seemed like she was plotting. She'd seemed but he 13 years of believing his father's version didn't break in an elevator. "I'll hand," Harold said. "Don't tell Bree anything about the At Meridian, the air felt. Bree stared at her screen without. When Sloan passed, her eyes flicked up. By 10, Dana had missed. She cornered Sloan in the car. "What's going on with Bree?" "She looks like she saw a ghost." Sloan sighed. "Her fiancé is her." "Date." "Ken?" "Tyler. He showed up this morning to her up. Saw me. Thought I was here for an interview." Bree had no idea we were related. Your brother. The engagement. Dana ran a hand through her hair. If he's anything like your dad, he's going to make the... Sloan argue. Bree found noon. They sat in a corner booth at the coffee shoppers. Bree ordered a latte and drink. Sloan, I am so sorry. I had no idea. Tyler never used your name. He just said he had a sister he didn't talk to, that you'd drought and had... It's okay, Sloan said. You didn't... What did about you? Exactly, Sloan hesitated. He said I was the family disappointment, unstable. That I made... Bree. That's not this company. You're the most put-together person I know. Thank you. But Bree, you don't have to choose sides. Work is work. If this is uncomfortable... No, I love this job. I just need to figure some things out. About Tyler. About me. Time you need. At 2, the front desk called. Sloan, there's a head on line 1. Your father. Of course he'd call the front desk. Of course he'd make receptionist heard. Sloan, Harold said. Warm in a way made her skin crawl. I heard about your little company. Very impressive. What do you want, Dad? Can a father congratulate his daughter? I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Tyler and Bree are happy. I'd hate for your situation to disrupt that. Keep the past out of their relationship and out of Bree's work. My situation? You know what I mean. The disagreements. She doesn't need to be your planning anything. Good. Because if you are, you should know I'll protect this family, whatever it takes. He hung up. Dana stood in the doorway, arms. That was... Yeah. He's threatened. Yeah. Dana sat down. Sloan, you need to tell me everything. All of it. 13 years ago. If he's coming after you, he's coming after this company. What we're dealing with. For 13 years, Sloan had carried it alone. But Dana was right. Problem anymore. Okay. Close the door. Tyler texted Bree. Can you do me a favor? Who are your company's biggest clients? Just curious. Bree stared at the message. She thought about Sloan in the calm and kind. She thought about Tyler in the elevator, laughing at his own. She typed, Why do you want to know? Tyler, no reason. Just making conversation. Bree set phone down. She didn't reply. Sloan's email pinged. It was from Vosrell, her largest client. Roughly of annual revenue. Subject, upcoming contract renewal. After careful review of our marketing budget for the coming fiscal year, we've decided to reassess our vendor partnerships. We'd like to schedule a meeting next week to discuss the future with Meridian Brand Group. Sloan twice. Then she called Dana. Dana, we have a problem. Sloan told Dana everything that night. They sat in her office with the door closed, and Sloan talked for 45 minutes. About the money, about the night Harold threw her out, about 13 years of silence. When she finished, Dana was quiet. Okay, I fly to Portland tomorrow and meet with Voss face to face. I find out what they heard. You handle your family. But Sloan, you can't just absorb it. You have to confront it. The next morning, she did something she hadn't done in 13 years. She drove to Aurora. Her parents' house looked the same. Beige siding, overgrown rose bushes, the basketball hoop Tyler had outgrown at 16. Sloan walked to the door. Carol answered. When she saw Sloan, her hand flew to her mouth. Sloan. Hi, Mom. Harold appeared behind. What is she doing? I came to talk. Sloan. Can I come? You have some nerve. Carol said softly. Let her in. They sat in the living room. It smelled like lemon polish and artificial I'm not here to fight, Sloan said. Tyler got information about my company through Bree. My largest client got a... They're reconsidering. If my business suffers because of this, I won't stay. Harold laughed, sharp and lee. You're blaming us for your business problems? Typical. I'm warning you. If it continues, I will respond. What? A little office and a few employees? You stopped being my father 13 years ago, and said. Right now, I'm the CEO of a company your son is trying to sell. That's the only relationship. Carol was crying in tissue. Harold's face purple. Get out, and don't ever come back here unannounced. Sloan stood. Mom, take care. She walked out without... Across town, Bree sat on the... Tyler had texted he was grabbing dinner with a coworker, but she'd restaurant. No reservation. When he walked in at 8:30, did you contact us retail? Tyler step. Where is it from? You asked me for their clients. 2 days later, they want to reassess. That's incidents. He set his jacket down hard. So you're on her side now? Your boss or your fiancé? I'm asking you a question. And yeah, I mentioned to a guy I know that Meridian was a small shop and maybe they should shop around. So what? It's business. Bree stared at him. You sabotaged her company because of something that happened 13 years ago that you don't. I understand plenty. She left this family, chose to leave, and now she acts like better than everyone. Didn't waltz anywhere. You walked into her building and mocked her. Me to hurt her. Bree's voice was shaking. I trusted you. I told you things because I thought you cared, and you used it. Tyler's air deflated into panic. Bree, baby, I'm sorry. Don't call me. I need some air. And walked out. Sloane was at her kitchen on her phone buzzed. Dana. Just land. Client will stay, but they want 10% off. We can absorb it. Sloane exhaled. 10's a hit, but survivable. Then another text. From Bree. Sloane, I know what Tyler did. I'm so sorry. Can we talk? Not as your employee, someone who feels terrible. Sloane stared at the message. She thought about Bree in the coffee shop, pale and shaking. About Tyler in the elevator, smirking. About her father in his recliner, purple with... She typed... Coffee, my treat. Then she set the phone and drank her water. They met for coffee the next morning. Bree looked like she hadn't slept. I told him I knew, Bree said. About Voss. He admitted it. Sloane, I'm so sorry. I gave him the client names. I didn't know. You didn't know, Sloane said. But she couldn't stop thinking. Bree had information. Bree had given it to Tyler, and Bree was still engaged to him, still living with him. That afternoon, Sloane called Bree into her office. I'm moving you off the Voss account. And off new business. Smaller accounts, lower profile. It's not a demotion. I need to protect sensitive information right now. Bree stared. You don't trust me. It's exactly about trust. Bree's voice cracked. I told you the truth. I confronted. And this is okay, if that's what you want. She walked. Dana appeared 30 seconds later. What did you just... I moved Bree to smaller accounts. You punished. She's the victim. She came to you. And you sidelined her because you're... I'm protecting the... You're protecting your... Dana said. You learned at 19 that the only person you can count on is your... Now you can't tell the difference between someone who hurt you and someone on your... Sloane didn't answer. Because Dana was right. Bree went home and... Not just about work. About feeling like Sloane had looked at her and seen a lie. Tyler found her on the... Wrong. Sloane moved me off the bounce. She doesn't trust me, Tyler sat down. Told you. She's in you. She acts like she's great, but she only cares... Was hurt. And hurt people don't clearly. Maybe you're right, of course. Hey, that new client she's chasing? The Boulder one? The deal there, Bree told him. About the 6-figure contract. About Dana and Sloane falling over the pitch. She told Tyler was holding her, and it felt like someone was on her side. She didn't realize until later that she just everything. The quarterly team event was Friday at Rhino Brewery. 18 employees, picnic tables, fun. Sloane talked to Bree. Bree smiled politely. Daily beers. By the third, she was leaning against a table, talking loudly. Here's about leaders, Dana said, not looking at Sloane. Some people think leadership means do everything yourself. That if you let anyone in, they'll let you down. But that's not leadership. That's fear. And fear makes you make bad calls, like pushing away the people who... The group went quiet. Sloane sat down and walked outside. She stood in the parking lot, breathing cold air, and felt something she had a long time. The sharp kind of loneliness, the kind that comes from being surrounded by people and realizing you. Her phone buzzed. After careful consideration, we've decided to pause our discussion and brand group. Sloane read it 3 times. Then she went outside and found Dana. They pulled out, said. Boulder, Dana's face fell. Shit, yeah, and Dana, you were... About Bree, about everything. I made a mistake. Before Dana could answer, Sloane's phone buzzed. A call. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something to pick up. It was Carol. Her voice was shaking. Sloane, I need to talk to you. It's your father. He's been going through old files. Bank files. Locked himself in the study. And Sloane, I think he's scared. He's scared of something you have. Sloane's blood went cold. 13 years. The box in her storage closet. Never looked at again. Mom, she said. I'm coming over. Sloane drove to her parents' house, but it was dark. A neighbor walked over. Are you Sloane? Your mom fell. They took her to the medical center. Hip, I think. She drove to the hospital. Carol was in a room on 3, prepped for morning surgery. Pale, matted hair, but clear eyes. Baby, Carol said. I'm sorry I knew. About the money. About what your father did. I knew all along. I was just scared. Harold walked in. Carol, you're on medication. You don't know. I know exactly what I'm saying, Harold. I've known for 13 years, and I'm tired of lying. Harold's face went gray. He looked at Sloane. You put her up to this. No, she did it herself. Just like I have the bank statements. The ones I copied at 19. The ones you said I forged. Harold's. For the first time, Sloane saw fear in his face. Not, you don't have. I do. In a box. In my storage. It. 13 years. I never use them. But if you keep coming after my company, after my people. Harold opened mouth. Did. And walked. Carol squeezed Sloane. Sorry. Then Sloane got home. She went to the storage closet, moved aside winter coats, and pulled out cardboard, yellowed packing tape. Inside, copied bank statements, a manila envelope, a framed photo found. Her and Carol at a park, Sloane 12, both laughing. On the back, Carol's handwriting, You'll always be my She set it down and picked up mints. She'd remembered wrong. It wasn't 8 or 1,000. It was $82. Transferred from the family trust, her grandfather's money, meant for her and Ty's college, into Harold's personal checking, over 14 months, 80. In 2013, that was a year's salary. That was her entire college fund. That was why. 13 years she'd thought he'd thrown her out because she. The truth was simply uglier. He'd stolen her money, and found out he'd destroyed her reputation. The manila envelope. Her own handwriting, years old. Mom, anything. Please believe me. Please call me. She'd never sent it. Or she had, never got it. Either way, now. At 9, she was this. Dan had run the numbers. Cash flow is tight. Voss took the hit. Boulder pulled out. 2 more clients negotiating. If we don't bring in new business in 30 days, layoffs. Maybe 3 people. 3 families. Because her father and brother couldn't pull enough alone. Okay, Sloane said. She told Dana about the box. The 82,000. Carol in the hospital. Fear. Dana listened, expression shifting from something colder. So we have him. But I don't want to destroy him. I want this to end. I want my money back. I want him to admit what he did. And I want him to leave me and my company permanently. Dana nodded. Then we need a plan. We need to do it right. They talked for an hour. By then, Sloane had a strategy. For the first time in weeks, she was drowning. That night, her phone buzzed. A text from Harold. We need to talk. Just you and me. Lawyers. Dana. Tomorrow. Stared at the message. She thought on her kitchen table. About the 82,000. About Carol's voice. I'm tired of lying. She typed back. Fine. Noon. On Colorado Boulevard. The one we used to go to after. She set the phone down. Outside, Denver glowed. For the first time in 13 years, Sloane Bennett wasn't the one running. The diner hadn't changed. Red vinyl booths, grease and coffee, Darlene the waitress. Harold was already in a booth. He looked older. Thinner, more lines. Hands folded like he was praying. I made a mistake, he said. I owed money. I borrowed from the trust. I was going to pay it back. But you found out and I panicked. I said things, did things, and then it was too late. Sloane listened. I'm not asking forgiveness. But I'll pay back the 82,000. With interest. 150,000. To your company. In exchange, you hand over the evidence and we never speak of this again. We can try to be a family. Start over. 150,000. That would save the company. No layoffs. But it would mean silence. Tyler would go on believing she was the disappointment. 13 years of lies would stay. I need to think. Said. Of course. But think about what's best for everyone. Not her. That was how he'd always did it. She left with. At the office, Dana. Door closed. I got an offer. Hale and Associates. Part track. 30% more. My team. The floor dropped out. Dana. I'm not telling to hurt you. But this company is bleeding. Boulder gone. Voss cut. More circling. And you've been distracted for weeks. I love you, but I have a mortgage. I can't bet on a company that might not exist months. How long? 2 weeks. If things turn around, I stay. Not I take it. Dana stood. And this is just about money. It's trust. You shut me out. Bree. You tried to handle everything alone, and it almost sank us. If I stay, you have to change. She walked out. Sloane sat at the wall. At the hospital, Carol was propped up in a brace. Your father's been under pressure. Tyler's wedding. Down payment. His pension isn't enough. He's been looking at the old accounts again. The trust. I think take more. Tightened. More? I found statements on his desk. New ones. Checking balances. Carol paused. And Tyler found papers a few years ago. In the study. Asked your father. Harold got so angry, scared, never asked again. I think Tyler knows, or suspects. He just chose not to see it, Tyler knew. And he'd chosen his father's version because the alternative was too painful. Because Sloane was telling the truth. Tyler had spent 13 years with her for no reason. Left as the sun set, in the dark at home. Lights, no TV, just and distant traffic. Lowest point she could remember. Company. Dana might leave. Bree hurt because of her. Mom in the hospital. Dad offering to buy her silence with money that was already hers. And Tyler probably knew all along. Harold would save everything, but it wouldn't make it right. She texted Dana. I'm sorry. Shutting you out. Things have to change. She texted me. I made a mistake. You didn't deserve to be sidelined. In fact, the team needs you. Then she opened laptop. New document. Title, what I want. For everyone. Money back. With interest. Him life. Permanently. No more lies. She stared. Then added at the bottom, I'm not doing the win. I'm this to end it. Saved it. Sat in the dark. Felt something she hadn't felt in weeks. Not hope, not yet. But determination. The quiet, stubborn. Phone buzzed. She'd answer. But she did. Sloane, he said. Strange, flat. I need to see you. There's something in Dad's study. A file cabinet. I think I need to show you what's inside. Tyler met Sloane at a Capitol Hill coffee shop. He looked terrible. Red eyes, messy hair. He slid his phone across the table. Photos, bank statements, debt records, and a letter. Her letter. The one she'd written at 19. The one she'd thought she'd never sent. Found these in Dad's study. Locked file cabinet. Took photos last night. Sloane stared at her own handwriting. Mom, I didn't forge anything. Please believe me. He kept it, she said. All these years. Tyler nodded. I read it, all of it. Sloane, I believed him. For 13 years. And I treated you like garbage. In the elevator. At the office. Stop, Sloane said. Not unkindly. What matters is what you do now. What do you want? Tell to everyone. Family meeting. With Uncle A. Tyler was quiet. That afternoon, Sloane called. Just her. Dana. Bree had come back. She'd texted that morning ready. Sloane started with I was wrong to move you off. She said. I was scared and took it out on you. You're one of the best on the team. And I treated you like a liability. I'm sorry. Bree's eye listened. That. I need your help. All of you. We're ending this, the money, the lie of it. But I can't. She laid everything. Evidence. Harold's offer. Company finances. Tyler's defection. Care testimony. Dana leaned forward. Plan? 3 options. Lawsuit. Slow, expensive, comes out. Take his money, silent. Company survives, married. Or 3, reckoning. Confront him and Uncle Ray, Dad's older brother, retired minister, the only family member. Tyler and Carol testify. I present evidence. He either admits it publicly, or Uncle Ray takes it to the whole family and Dad narrative. Risky, Dana said. He won't call our bluff. What he's scared of most isn't losing money. It's losing face. In front of his brother, his son. The family he's lied to for 13 years. Bree spoke. I'll help. Tyler told me things last night. I think he's ready. Dana nodded. Okay, I'm in. We need a backup. Have one. Tyler. If Dad tries anything, Tyler has the photos. Can go to Uncle Ray directly. Dad of us. That evening, Sloane went to the hospital. Carol was eating Jell-O, watching a game show. I need to ask. If we confront Dad, tell Uncle Ray everything. Stand with me? In front of everyone, Carol was quiet. The game show played on. Your father isn't a bad man. He's a scared man. Scared his whole life. And scared will do terrible things. I know. But scared isn't an excuse. No, it's not. Carol looked at her. Yes, I'll stand with you. I should have 13 years ago. I won't make that mistake again. Sloane took her mother's hand. Thin and paper strong. On the way, her phone buzzed. Bree Tyler called. He's ready. Wants to do it this week. Typed. Good. Arranged meeting. Everyone included. She went into the Denver evening. Cool air, deep purple sky. For the first time in months, like she was fighting alone. Sheena. Carol. However, tentatively, and she had the truth. The team meeting was Thursday morning. Sloane, Dana, Bree, Tyler in the Meridian conference room. Tyler stood in the doorway a second, looking at the awards on the wall, the employees at desks, the glass walls with the city view. Nice place, he said quietly. They sat. Tyler passed his phone around. Photos of the bank statements, debt records, the letter. Dana looked at the letter. He kept this? 13 years? He kept everything, like he was waiting for someone to find it. Bree took Tyler's hand. He didn't pull away. Sloan laid out the plan. Family meeting, Saturday, hotel conference room downtown. Me, Dad, Mom, Tyler, Uncle Ray, Dana, and Bree next door. Uncle Ray is key. Dad's older brother, retired minister. The only person Dad cares about impressing. If Uncle Ray believes us, Dad loses the narrative permanently. Conditions? Dana asked. 1. $150,000 to the company. 2. Dad admits everything in front of Tyler and Uncle Ray. Out loud. No hedge. 3. He stays out of my life. Permanently. In exchange, no lawsuit. No going public. Limited contact on my terms. Tyler nodded. Fair. More than fair, Dana. He's lucky you're not sued. Harold found out Thursday evening. Tyler left his laptop. Harold, looking for a recipe, saw the folder of photos. He clicked, sat down hard in a kitchen. The states. The records. His son had been in Haiti. Taken 13 years of coal. Unraveled because Tyler got curious about a locked. He called Uncle Ray. It's Harold. Sloan's at again. Making trouble. Got some papers, claims took money. Complete vacation. She's been unstable. Harold. Uncle Ray's mom. Sloan called yesterday. Asked me to attend a family meeting Saturday. Said you'd a lot. Wanted to resolve things as a family. Didn't mention extortion. Didn't mention fabrication. Harold's mouth went dry. Called you? She did. And I'm going. Harold, if there's any truth to this, we need to talk. As a family, Saturday. Harold sat in the dark kitchen. Betrayed him. Brother didn't believe him. Wife in the hospital, probably on Sloan's side. And Sloan had evidence, witnesses, and... Friday night, Dana showed up with Thai food and wine. They sat on the floor, eating pad Thai off paper plates like college. You nervous? No, just been a long time coming. Set down her fork. You've already won. Not the money. Not the apology. You won because you're not scared of him anymore. You walked into his house. Looked him in the eye. Told him what you wanted. That's not a girl thrown out at 19. That woman who owns her life. Sloan smiled. Thanks. Don't think. Stating facts. Phone buzzed. Unknown. She answered. Sloan. Harold. Old. Tired. Tomorrow. Do this. It's already done. You started it 13 years ago. I'm just it. Then. Wanted to hurt you. I know the worst part. Hung up. Across town in his dark study, desk drawer. Pulled out an envelope. Yellowed, sealed, unopened 13 years. He'd been saving it. For a day like, set it on the desk. Stared. Then picked up his phone and made one more call. The conference room was on the 14th floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows, long oak table. Sloan arrived 20 minutes early. Dana and Bree set up next door. Carol came with Tyler. Cane, healing hip, but back straight, eyes clear. Uncle Ray next. 70, silver hair, crisp shirt, worn Bible under his arm. You look like your grandfather, he told Sloan. Stubborn, good. Harold arrived last. Suit, hunched shoulders, pale face, red-rimmed eyes. He sat at the far end and folded his hands. Uncle Ray opened. I'm not here to take sides. This family has carried something 13 years. Time to put it down. Sloan, start. Sloan laid the evidence on the table. Bank statements, transfer records, Tyler's photos. She spoke 10 minutes, calm, steady, no tears. When she finished, the room was quiet. Uncle Ray looked at Harold pulled an envelope from his... The yellowed one. Slid it across. She signed this. 13 years ago. Voluntarily relinquished all claims to trust. Neurized. Sloan it up. Her signature bottom. She didn't... Kitchen bowl. Father sliding. These are financial aid forms. Sign... She'd trim. Signed with... You told me they were scums. You signed it. That's... No. Carol's voice. I looked. I was in the room. I heard him tell her they were scums. I didn't anything. Should have. But I heard it. Harold stared. Carol, don't, Harold. Not anymore. Uncle Ray set down his Bible. Harold, evidence is here. Your wife testified. Your son brought documents from your own study. What do you have to say? Harold was time. Shoulders slumped. Fight gone. I owed money. Job wasn't going well. Debts. Borrowed from the trust. Going to pay it back. But Sloan found out, confronted, and I panicked. Said things. Did things. Then it was too late. Uncle Ray's voice gentle but firm. Apologize to your daughter. A real one. Harold looked at Sloan. For a moment, she saw the father taught her to ride a bike, come to soccer game, bring her to bed. Then he was gone, and there was just Harold. Old, tired, Sloan. I'm sorry. I was wrong. What I did, what I said about you, it was wrong. Sorry, the room waited. Slowed about 13 years. The bus stop in rain. Apartment with leaky faucet. Every night what she'd done wrong. The company built from nothing. Dana, Bree, Tyler, Carol, all here, all on her side. I accept your apology. But I don't forgive you. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Conditions stand. Money to my company. You've admitted it. Stay life. Permanently. In exchange, no lawsuit, no going public. And if you're serious about changing, maybe someday we can have a relationship. On my terms. No argument. Uncle Ray. I'll oversee the transfer. If you don't follow through, evidence goes to the family. Understood? Harold again. People file. Tyler hung back. Walked over, pockets awkward. Hey. I was wondering, sometime Not today. Soon. I'd like to actually get to know you. My sister. Sloane looked at him. The brother she'd barely known. 16 when she left. Now 29. Still conference trying. Yeah. Soon. He smiled and walked out. Sloane stood alone a minute. Then out to the hallway. Dana and Bree waiting. Well, Dana said. It's over. Dana exhaled. Bree her. They walked out of the hotel. Denver sun bright. Sky that impossible blue. Sloane's fizzed. Harold. Words. She stared. Then put the phone back without reply. She didn't know if he'd change. Didn't know if she'd ever give him. But her life was hers now. 3 months later, the money hit on a Tuesday. $150,000, wired from Harold's retirement account, overseen by Uncle Ray's lawyer. Sloane forwarded the confirmation to Dana. Done. Dana replied. Partner meeting. Now. They sat in Dana's new corner office. Full partner now. Equity. Title. Budget to hire 3 more. The company had not only survived, it had grown. 2 new clients, a healthcare retainer, a profitable social media division. The layoffs that had loomed were a distant memory. I turned down Hale, Dana said. Officially. This is my company too. Has been for years. I just needed you to start acting like it. Sloane smiled. Fair. Bree had left 2 months ago. Not because of drama. They'd worked through that over honest coffees. But because she'd gotten an offer she couldn't refuse. Senior account manager at a national firm. Clear path to director. They still texted weekly. Still did lunch once a month. Tyler and Bree hadn't broken up. Hadn't set a date either. That honest in-between that Sloane thought was healthier than either extreme. Tyler had told Bree everything. The money, the lie. 13 years hating a sister he didn't. Bree said she needed to. Tyler said he'd also quit the real estate firm Harold had got him. Taken an entry-level position at a smaller agent. Step down in title and pay. I need to build something that's he'd told Sloane over. Their third. The first had been 15 minutes of silence. The second, childhood memories. Sunday morning smells. The dog eating Thanksgiving. The third, he asked, can you teach me to start a business? Someday. I can introduce people, but the road is yours. Enough. Carol's hip healed. She walked without a cane now, slight limp on cold days. She'd moved out of the Aurora house 2 months ago. Small apartment in Lakewood, 10 minutes. Not a divorce, just space. 6 years old, wanting to know what living alone. She'd brought apple pie. They sat on Sloane's balcony, skyline. I'm seeing a therapist, Carol said. Says I spent 40 years afraid of my husband. Says I need to learn to be angry. It's harder than I thought. Sloane eased her hand. You'll get there. Harold his word. Money paid, no calls, no showing up. Occasional full texts. Uncle O. Sloane. Sometimes not. Didn't push. Uncle Ray said Harold was doing. Sloane didn't it. Didn't know if it mattered. She'd stopped waiting to change. That, more than anything, freedom. Late September, day evening. For crisp edge of autumn. Sloane on her balcony. White wine. Sky turning orange to blue. Phone buzz. Tyler. Photo. Him and Bree on a park bench. Laughins. We're trying. Taking it slow. Sloane smiled. Thumbs up. Phone down. Inside. Dana in the kitchen. Homemade pasta. The sauce recipe they affected in college. 2 else. Sloane. Noodles are gonna overcook. Get in here! Laughed, stood up. Walked toward the kitchen, paused in the doorway. Warm kitchen, simmering. Dana hour on her nose. Radio playing something old and soft. Smelled like tomatoes and home. She thought about that 13 years ago. Bus stop in the rain. Where to go? The apartment with the leaky faucet. 47 cold emails. The first yes. Years of building, fighting, being alone, and now. The company. Dana, Bree, Tyler, however tentatively. Carol, finding herself at 60. Even Harold in his broken way. She wasn't stop anymore. Wasn't the girl her father's approval? Something else. Harder, softer, more herself. Sloan. Dana called in. I mean it. Pasta. She walked in, rolled up for the colander. Out Denver went dark. City lights came on one by one. A warm kitchen on a Tuesday night. Sloan Bennett as Dana flicked sauce at her. And for the first time in as long as she could remember, she felt exactly where she was supposed to be.